Hi everybody, my name is Dennis and I'm here to show you how to snap in some eco frames. So this is how your frames are going to come. The rails are going to be attached to the side there by two pieces of tape, so make sure you remove those. The rails have two sides to them, so one side is where we're going to be actually laying our mesh into. The other side is going to sit on the frame itself. One side is wavy, the other has a deep kind of trench for the mesh to sit into. So start by placing the frames or the rails on each side of the frame where they go with. Short sides on the short sides, of course, and long on the long. So let's start with the long ends of the frame first. They're going to be easy for us to snap in if we start there. So start with putting your rail on the very top edge and pushing it all the way until you feel resistance and can't push any more forward. So I'm going to do that with the other side as well. All right, cool. So now just visually make sure that we're pretty much even. Next I'm going to grab my meshes. They come in boxes of 6 like this. They got the screen size as well as the mesh count, and if it's hydro or high-tech's on there. So here's my mesh. It has two sides to it, or I look at the threads itself. There's one side that has a black thread to it, and the other side that has a stitching on it. As well, each one of these meshes is going to come with a tag that's going to indicate the mesh count on there as well as the screen size, so you can make sure. So start with laying it on the center, and we're going to do stitch a side up. Now do one roll towards yourself, and that means that we're going to have the black threads facing up. Start with putting the back end of the plastic into the trench. So start on one end and just slowly go along. I always run my fingers along the inseam just to make sure that every part of it's snapped into place. Other edge, gonna do the exact same thing, roll it once, black threads are facing up, and again I'm putting the back edge in first. This allows me to push in the mesh. Once we get to really high mesh counts, like 305s, it's not difficult, but you want to take your time with putting it in, so that's why I come from this side and push it in. Once I have the two long sides in, I can pop on my short sides. Again, pushing till I feel resistance, evenly spacing them out. Taking my mesh, rolling it once, and putting the back edge in first. Perfect, and the final one. All right, now once we're in place, good idea just to run your finger along the whole inseam, just to make sure we haven't missed anything. Last thing you want to do is start snapping this into place with just an edge poking up. We just have to restart the process then. So next thing we need to grab is our stretching tool. So this has two positions. When you're just holding it like this, you're going to feel this rounded edge here. This is for taking the frame off. We want to snap our frame into place right now, so we're going to flip this all the way up. And there's actually a sharp edge here that's going to be connected into the rail and snap it back into place. So we're going to connect that there. I can feel resistance. I always hold the top of the lever. It's going to give me the most amount of leverage, make snapping my screens easy, and I'm never pressing down on the mesh. That's going to rip it. So I'm always holding the opposite side. Top of the lever, bring it back. I want to look that I've snapped in all the way across. Looks good to me. So now I can start on the other edge. And again, the same way where we put in our mesh into the long sides first, we're going to snap in the long sides first and then go to the short sides. So I can spin this around. Again, long edge, bringing my tool up, connecting to the edge, feeling the resistance, okay, and snapping it into place. Don't be scared of this. It does feel kind of intense the first time, but you'll get used to it. And finally, the long edge. One. And two. So that's our snapped in frame. Next thing that we want to take care of is the edges of the frame. So this is going to get snapped into our press, depending on what kind of clamps you have, side clamps or front and back. It's going to go into racking, and the edges are always going to be a friction point basically. So if anywhere is going to break on the screen, it would be those points. So we protect it with a polykin tape. So this is a very strong Gorilla Glue kind of tape, or like a really strong duct tape on steroids. It's going to survive the reclaim process, so you only have to put it on there once. Once the screen rips, then we're going to reapply to a new mesh. All we have to do is place it along the edges on any pinch point on the screen itself. It's pretty easy to rip with your hands, so let's take a piece here. Just eye it out. We don't want to be going over the edges of the frame, just in case we're operating an eye image or using a tri-lock system. We want to make sure that the frame touches those 3 points of contact. Rip it there. Take your time with this step, just because, again, it only goes on once. So there we go. Once it's on there, again, I like to run my finger along the groove and make sure that it's really stuck onto my frame, like that. So we're going to do all 4 sides, and then the screen is ready to go. Another point that I want to talk about is the tension on the screen. So we do recommend having a tension meter in your screen room. You're going to be able to double check everything, make sure that everything's good to go before you coat your screens. So bringing out the Sherlock check, let's see what this screen starts at. Yeah, so we're well above the 30 Newton mark, so really high tension. It feels like a glass table to me, so really nice. And we'll just finish off taping all 4 sides. All right, so that's a finished screen. It's ready to be coated. And of course, after coating, we definitely recommend using the split tape tie for the inside of the frame as well. It's really nice. It's got the blue untacky side so that I can sit up on the frame walls and not stick to it. It'd be really easy to take off for reclaim. So that's the finished product. All the tape's on there, nice, really high tension screen. Thanks for watching.